Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, I have my friend Lisa over here with me, and we're going to be talking about digital declutter. I don't know about you. Yep, it is an exciting topic. I do not know about you, but I know that, sometimes I have issues trying to maintain all of the declutter in my personal files and my Google Drive and my email. I don't know. I think in this world we have two types of people. You know, the people that have their inbox super clean and neat, and that's Lisa. And then you have the people that have just everything accumulating and trying to survive the day. That doesn't make you a bad teacher, because I am more on that spectrum, but I'm working towards getting my stuff organized. I think it is so important to have everything organized, because it gives you like a fresher, it takes a load off your shoulders, and Lisa is going to talk to you guys about that later on. I hope everyone's having a great afternoon and everybody is starting to enjoy their summers. And I know some of you guys are teaching. If you're still teaching, hang in there. You got this. You totally got this. So I'm going to again, if you don't know me yet, because it's not the first Facebook Live that I do, but this is the first of a sequence. My name is Berta Delgadillo. I'm also known as Profesora Delgadillo. And I opened this space just so that we could have conversations. And I want to share with you everything that I wish others would have shared with me. And they did. It's not to say that other people didn't share, but I want to be able to have another space for you where we can collaborate, when we can bring you new ideas about teaching and about organizing too. So today we're not focusing on the teaching aspect of it, but we are focusing on organizing, which is so important and so key for us teachers. And as we go into the new year, regardless of what's to come, we know our files are going to be decluttered. So I'm going to let Lisa talk about a little bit about herself, so she can introduce herself a little bit more to you guys.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight, for catching the replay. Thank you for catching the replay. Thank you, Berta, for having me. I'm Lisa McHargue. You might know me online as La Maestra MCH. And if you always wondered why that was my name, well, look up my last name, like down in the little corner, and now you know, because no one can ever say my name right. I am a Spanish teacher. I'm a minimalist. I'm a fan of organizing and decluttering. And I have just always been that kid. I was that kid in elementary school that my desk was never the one that was a mess. Like, I didn't have things growing in my desk. I wasn't the one like shoving papers in the back. Like, I had like piles. Like, my indoor recess was like me organizing my desk. And then like fast forward to high school, I was the kid organizing my friends' binders and helping them go through them. And like, there's like, why do you still have this? You don't need this. And like going through it. And it was either Christmas or my birthday at some point in high school. I asked my parents for a filing cabinet for my birthday or for Christmas. I can't remember which one. And I still have it to this day. It's moved like 10 different places with me, and I still have it. It's like over there in my corner. But that's just always who I've been. And I swear it's genetic, because this Easter, after our Easter egg hunt, my 5-year-old, she was like, I'm 5.5, came inside and said, I know most kids would be like, hey, Mom, can we eat my candy or da-da-da? My 5-year-old comes in and goes, Mama, now that we're done with the Easter egg hunt, can we sort my candy? And so we sat down and we sorted her candy by like color and size and kind. And I've like never been prouder as a parent than in that moment. I mean, that's a lie, but I was like...
I want to say too, since you mentioned the file cabinet, when I was a teenager, I also had a file cabinet, and I was very organized. I'm actually of organized nature, but after I had my child, I do not know what happened. I took a toll. So there went my organization. And I don't want to blame it on him or on, having a child, but that's pretty much for me when I kind of like stopped being as organized. I don't know why. So
yeah, but things happen. You have a kid, a global pandemic hits. You have 5 days to learn how to teach online, and you're like, yeah, these things happen, and we get a little messy, we get a little cluttery, and like I do too. I have junk drawers. It's fine. Please don't think I live in like a Pottery Barn catalog. Like, everything's perfect, because I don't. And I like to say, like, I am practical over pretty. Like, my idea of organizing, decluttering, it's not what you see on Instagram. It's not what you see on Pinterest. I don't have cute themed labels or anything like that. I just want things to be really clean and clear and practical. And so that's how I work. And so today I'm going to talk a little bit, as much as we can. We're going to be here for half an hour. And I've got notes here. I've got another monitor over here. So if you see me looking everywhere, that's why. But I'm going to talk about some strategies to declutter your files. I don't know about you guys, but remote teaching this year, I mean, I panicked initially, and people were sharing great things and companies were sending things. I was like, all the things. And I took all the things and I downloaded all the things and I signed up for all the things. I was just like, and so by the end of it, I was like, oh my gosh, like I have crap everywhere. And not to say it was crap, but I was just, it was a mess for me. So I'm going to talk about how to clear that out. And maybe you didn't grab all the things. Maybe you just look at your Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever and get stressed about it.
I know I signed up for things that I didn't even get to use.
Yes.
I had the major FOMO, you know, like fear of missing out. I was like, ah.
Yes. And so we took like all of the things. Yeah. And, you know, and I have a really good friend who I was on a Zoom call with her, and she saw me. Like I said, oh, I have a file for that. And she saw me in my Google Drive, go and get it. And, you know, it took me, I don't know, like 10 seconds. And she goes, how did you do that? And I go, what do you mean? She goes, how did you find that so fast? I'm like, I just found it. Like, I know where it is. She goes, but how do you know where it is? I'm like, I do. And she said, oh my gosh, it takes me like 6 to 10 minutes to find a file. And she wasn't kidding. It literally takes her 6 to 10 minutes from the time she thinks, oh, I need this file, till the time she finds it. Because she's not organized. Everything is just kind of thrown into her Google Drive. She doesn't necessarily remember what she named it. She uses a search bar. And I know a lot of you do that, because I kind of saw some comments leading up to this that, oh, if it wasn't for search, I don't know what I would do. Well, you know, she searches for it, but we're language teachers. So shoot, what language did I name that? Did I name that in Spanish or English? You got to try a few different things. Then you find it and you open it, but it's not the right one. You do that a few times.
Yeah, it's the older version.
It is the older version. And Bert and I have talked about this. I'm like, why do you have an older version? I'm going to get there. And then you realize, oh my gosh, it's not even in this Google Drive. It's in my other Google Drive, or it's in my OneDrive, or it's in my Dropbox, or it's in my email. And before you know it, it's been like 10 minutes, and then you find it. Well, if you have a 50-minute plan period, you just lost 10 minutes of your 50-minute plan period.
And that is valuable time, for sure.
Yes. And like, I don't know about you, but like, I don't have that kind of time. So, Bertha, can you let me share my screen?
Of course.
I'm going to try. Okay, see, this way you get real Inception-y if I do this. There we go. Okay, so now we're not like in a tunnel. And you know what? I'm not even going to present this because I have like really simple slides. But I'm going to bounce back and forth between some slides, between my actual Google Drive, and I'm a Dropbox gal. So between that, just to kind of show you some stuff in action. So yeah, there's me. I've kind of talked about this. Here's so you can find me online if you don't know, and I'll show that to you at the end. You can always track me down. I want to talk a little bit more about why this matters. We've kind of touched on the time aspect of it. I teach 90-minute classes, so I have a 90-minute plan period every other day. And that time is so valuable. Or, you know, I don't want to be at school until 5:30. I want to get home to my family. I don't want to have to show up early to find stuff. I just want to know where it is. I want to find it. So we end up wasting a lot of time looking for those files. And I know for me, the times I can't find things and just talking with people, when you can't find what you need, you panic, you get frustrated, you get like that frenzy, you get that shot of cortisol, which is it cortisol? Cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So then, you know, your mental state for the rest of your plan.
Especially if it happens in front of class.
Yes. Or, you know, if you have a 3-minute passing period and you can't find it and class is starting and bells ringing and kids are like, ah! And then you have to start your class in that like headspace, and that's just not great. But you know, it's more than that. there's so much research. I'm also a psych minor.
We have a question, Lisa.
Yeah, would we have access to the Google slide? Sure, yeah, I can. We can.
Okay, we'll make sure we share it.
Yeah. So where was I going? Oh, I was a psych minor, so I love psychology. Like I read probably more psychology books than teaching books sometimes, but they go hand in hand. But there is so much research that tells us that visual clutter has really negative effects. So it's not just files. And this is a short little excerpt. And this is actually, is it clickable? Yeah, this will actually take you out. If you want to spend your Friday night, reading peer-reviewed scholarly articles, this will take you out to, like top-down effects on the visual cortex or something like that. And it's from Australia, so that's why the spelling's a little different than, US English. But we know that visual clutter, whether that's my desk or my desktop on my computer, it has a cumulative effect on our brain. It builds up. As human beings, we like order, we like patterns. And seeing that constant clutter, it actually drains our cognitive resources and reduces our ability to focus, and it reduces our working memory, which I don't know about you, but like I need all the working memory I can have. And this is another, there's another article linked in here too from 2011 that they found by MRI imaging that if we just clear out that clutter, productivity actually increases. And the only change is reducing visual clutter. And I'm like, that's just insane to me. And like, it's not insane to me. I get it, because when I feel stressed or out of control, I will like stop and I'll clean and organize things. And then I feel more peaceful, and I feel ready to tackle things. And suddenly I can just think more clearly. And it's not just mental. This article, if you want to go, this is like fun to read article down here. It goes on and talks about the effects on our physical bodies as well. So it takes a toll on our physical health also, which I'm not going to get into that. Just trust me. They're just files. Why does it matter? Like, it does. There's mountains of research, but you didn't come for that. So let's get into the practical part of it.
Lisa, I'm sorry to interrupt. Is there any way we can go ahead and share the presentation with them right now? Because we had a couple users asking for it.
Do that. Yes. Let me share it. You know what, Bertha? I'm going to share it.
You can share it with me, and I can share it with them.
Yeah. I'm going to decide to do this one. Oh, I don't really know. I'm going to let you view. Okay. There you go, everybody. Right. Welcome to teaching. I've been teaching online for so long. I had live synchronous classes, hour-long classes every day, Monday through Thursday. And so I'm like beyond looking dumb on. I'm just really used to that. Okay, so you need to have a system kind of set up and in place to start. And one of the biggest things I hear from people is, I don't know where it is. I can't find it. You have multiple drives, and I'm guessing a lot of you have multiple Google Drives or Dropboxes. I personally, right now, I have 2 Dropboxes I actively use and 4 Google Drives that I actively use. I have more, but those are the ones I actively use. So I have 6 places a file could potentially be. But each of those 6 places, I have a designated purpose for them. So if I'm looking for something for school, for something I've created, I know that it is in my Dropbox. If I'm looking for, stuff that maybe my admin shared with me, I know which Google Drive it is. If it's interacting with customers, I know where it is. If it's CPT products, I know where it is. So first of all, if you can consolidate or combine your drives, that's the best thing to do. So right now, if you have like 3 Google Drives and they all have school stuff in them, if there's a way you can get all of that in one place, that's going to take away one of your major headaches. You're going to know it's in this drive. Now, maybe you can't, or maybe you just don't want to. I don't know. I have a friend who, she loves Google Drive, but her school is a Microsoft Teams school, and they've actually blocked Google Drive at her school. Like, I'm sorry, what? So sometimes you do need both. And when you designate, you want to give each one a purpose. So I have an example there, like I'm in my office right now. I don't have shampoo in my home office because that would be bonkers, right? Like that wouldn't make any sense. Why would I keep shampoo in my home office? Your digital space is the same way. So however many drives you have, designate a purpose for each one, and whatever is supposed to be there, that is all you get to put there. And sometimes I download things to the wrong drive and it's frustrating. I'm like, but right then, right there, I go and I change it because I know I'm not going to come back to it. So I go, and I take the minute and I move it into the right drive. And future me thanks myself so much. So so you really just want to have a system set up in place. And that's one key tip, is designate a purpose for each one. All right, I actually am going to present this next one because I want to have a little bit of suspense. Dun, 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 dun. All right, decluttering files. So I'm going to talk a lot about deleting files, how to decide what you can get rid of. And you guys, it's simple. There's one key question. And I ask myself this question multiple times a day for physical stuff and digital things. And this is it. Does this add value to my life? Or for the case of teachers, does this add value to my teaching or to my classroom? And if the answer is yes, great, you keep that. If the answer is no, you get rid of it. You can also reword that. Does this serve me, or does this serve my teaching? Does this serve my classroom in a positive way? So I'm sure most of you know or have heard of Marie Kondo and does this spark joy? I don't like that question because my dishwasher does not spark joy. My school's bell schedule does not spark joy. But do they add value to my life? Heck yeah. Like, do they serve me in a positive way? Yes. So I keep those things, okay? Sometimes we need things that we don't really like, and that's okay. And this doesn't have to be really like practical, like a dishwasher or an iron or a vacuum or bell schedules. Thank you notes from students or emails from students that thanking you or, just nice things. Those add value to your life, to your teaching. If they do bring you joy, if they make you smile, if they make you feel fulfilled. If on those days you're having a bad day, that's the boost you need, keep those. That is serving you in a positive way. So this doesn't have to be really cut and dry and things like that. All right. If you're like, you know what, Lisa, that's all great, but I need something a little more like practical and hands-on.
One second, Lisa.
Yes.
Before we go on, I just kind of want to highlight a couple of comments, if that's okay, but I don't want to
interrupt me whenever.
Okay, so we have one. How can one have 3 Google Drives? I have 3 Google Drives. But like Lisa said, one is for personal and one is for school. It's linked to my school account, and the other one is more for my presenting and products and things of that nature. So
I have 4 Google Drives and 2 Dropboxes. And I have more Google Drives, but I just don't use them.
Luisa says you can have several Google accounts and you can go from one to the other. And I totally. And, as long as you keep them for separate purposes, you can have as many as you want. So we do have some Marie Kondo fans in here. So,
yeah, I have nothing against Marie Kondo. She taught me how to fold shirts and put them in a drawer that made better. So
somebody said I have 3 as well, but they're all with different emails. Can a single email have more?
Separate email. Mine, no, mine are all attached to separate emails.
And then I just want to let everybody know that I put the link in there for Lisa's presentation. So let me know if you can't open it. And now
I will make you change that because right now it's an editing link.
Oh, well, I made a copy.
Oh, so, okay. Then you edit away. Yeah. Not like this is, I'm not going to be super sad.
Okay. And how can we manage 3 drives or more? Well, Lisa's going to be talking about that aspect in the next couple of minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
So how do you manage 3 drives or more? It really goes back to having a really clear idea of what each drive is for. So I have one that's attached to my school email, and obviously that's just school stuff. And I don't really use it a whole lot other than things I get from my admin or things that I pull in for my own personal learning for professional development through my school. I have a personal one, and that's where I keep things like my daughter's dance schedules and stuff like that. I have one that is kind of more for the business side of what I do for TPT products and learning and things like that. And then I have one where I store things that I make for clients I work more closely with, like making courses or corresponding with my clients. So you just really got to have a really clear idea of what each one is for. So you can kind of think of them like closets in your house. So like when someone comes to your house, if a guest comes, where do you hang their coats, or where do you keep your cleaning supplies, or where do you keep this? You just really have to have a very clear purpose for what they're for. And then it's just a lot easier to know what you should put where and things like that. So if you are looking for like, I want to get rid of all the things, like my favorite thing to do, right, is just like get rid of stuff. I'm a minimalist. In the last year and a half, I've gotten rid of half of my possessions, and no, I haven't regretted anything, like shockingly. So here are like types of files you can like go and delete right now. My favorite one is old files, because I'm totally guilty of downloading things and then never using them, or I use them, but then I just don't need it anymore. So I'm going to jump back out. Here's how you do this. Sneak peek. You can sort your files by last opened by me. So here's this is my school one. And I like to sort everything by name alphabetically. But over here, I've got last opened by me. I think it defaults to last modified, the last time anybody with access changed that file. Modified by me, the last time you changed that file. Last opened by me. This is the last time you actually opened that file. So if I click this, okay, I'll click the arrow next to it. Oh yeah, so it always does. There we go. So these kind of changed. I see which way I'm going right now. Yeah, so I'm going the right way, because you can click this arrow and have the most recent, and then you can click it and it'll do like the longest ago, the least recent. I can't think, guys, it's been a day. So like this first one, there's no date open. I've never opened this file, but I know what it is. It's a video tutorial I made for my 6th grade teachers to share with parents. I'm keeping that. My oldest file is from 2019, April 30th of 2019. That was the last time I ever opened this file. Now, if you've never done this, you might have files that you haven't opened since 2015 or 2016. If you haven't opened it in 4 years, tough love. It's probably not adding value to your teaching or serving you in a positive way. You probably don't need it. Like if you haven't opened.
You probably didn't even remember it existed in the first place.
Exactly. Like you will find stuff like, like cringeworthy from like stuff you did that didn't go well. You're like, yeah, no wonder that's buried. I was trying to forget it. But that's one of my favorite ways. Sort by date last opened by me and just start deleting. If you haven't opened it in 5 years, you really just don't probably need it. The other one is files from students. I shouldn't for files from students or others, anybody. You can search for things not owned by you, and you can also check your shared with me folder. Like I just clicked this shared with me today, and I found all these things that my Spanish 4 kids had shared with me from first semester of this school year. And I'm like, I don't need that anymore. Grades are done. Those kids graduated. It's from last semester, and I got rid of all of them. Sometimes those find their way into like my drive.
I know that I have had instances where I am doing a unit that maybe I did 2 years ago, and I search for the title of let's say a web quest on that unit, and all of a sudden 60 copy of whatever web quest that I assigned that students turn in via Google Classroom load up, and I'm just like, why is this here?
Yes. And no, sometimes you do want to keep stuff from students as like an example, like somebody maybe did a really exceptional project. Great. Have a folder called student examples, and then like a folder for, each unit project or whatever, like Spanish 1, Spanish 3, whatever. Put them in there and then get rid of the rest.
That is a great idea, especially if you go and present in districts, or if you go and present locally in your district or in the regional conference or not, and you want to put your student exemplars, or maybe you don't present, but you want to show. It is so powerful to show your students an example of what a job well done looks like,
or a job not so well done,
and a job not so well done. So you can do a different folder for that one.
Yeah.
But you simply, as your students are turning in the assignment, I love that idea. As the students are turning in the assignment and you're grading them, if one is really amazing, go ahead and make a copy and save it on that. And then, once you grade it, everything's already on your grading book. Then you can go ahead and delete all of them and forget they even exist.
Gone.
Yep.
A fast way to find things that are not yours. So like most of you know, you can like search, like I can search Spanish 3, whatever. But if I click this arrow, I get a bunch of options, and one of them is owner. So I can search for things not owned by me. You can also search for a specific person. So like I have an administrator that shares all the things. And after, the end of school year, I don't need them. So I could search by my principal's name and then date and kind of go through and clean stuff out. I did that today, actually, but not owned by me. Location, you can do anywhere. I usually just click like anywhere in my drive, select, maybe remote teaching, like you just want to, like, you got a ton of stuff during that. I started remote teaching on March 19th. We started live classes. So I could search within that window, and I don't have a ton of stuff that shows up in that window because I just don't have a ton of files. I keep my files really clean, but stuff not owned by me. And so here's everything not owned by me. A lot of this, Shannon's my coworker, so a lot of it is stuff from her. And again, you can sort by relevance or last modified. So if it was last modified 3 years ago and it's not owned by you, maybe you don't need it. I don't know out.
I think it's another awesome idea to conquer the Google Drive, because I know that if we look, if I go and open my Google Drive right now, I'm going to be like, okay, let me close my
Google Drive and show them.
I'm sorry?
You want to open your Google Drive and show them?
Not right now, because I'm working on other things. But if I were to open my Google Drive right now, it would be just a mess, honestly. And it would be kind of difficult for me to get over that mental, okay, I can do this. But if I go in there and I go and search by something owned by, not by me, then maybe that makes it easier for me to start deleting things.
Yeah, it's a little less overwhelming. And, if you are that person that logs in and you're just like, I just need to like burn this drive to the ground, I'm never going to get it organized, I even bother. My question to you is, how do you eat an elephant? You eat it one bite at a time. This is the same way. You've got to take it just one step at a time. And copy of, oh my gosh, copy of. So Bertha touched on this. She said, when I did that web quest, I had like 1 million copy ofs. Okay, note here I have like 4 copies of this. And you know why? Because I put this link in one of the final days of virtual teaching. We worked with the song Baila La Pena. And I was showing my classes how to access it. So every time I clicked on it, it forced a copy, which is also a great thing to do so people don't mess up your master copies. But now I have like 4 copies of them. And do you think I went, same thing here with this Felipe Allo book report. Do you think I went back that day and deleted them? No. So you know what I'm gonna do? I don't need copy of, because I know I have the actual one. So boom, gone, 4 files gone. This same thing, I don't need that. Bye. Some of these I do want to keep, and some of them I don't need to. But again, if your students shared things with you as copy of WebQuest, like it's gonna show up here. And again, you can sort this by date last modified and see. I'm sure I have really old stuff. Like I don't even know what this is. Van Hatten's project from 2015. This was back from like one of my first teaching jobs. So a lot of this, I could go through and like, these are old lesson plans. Those are cringeworthy lesson plans from like my early teaching days. I don't need that. Boom, gone. I'm not really sure that's showing up with copy of. It must have it. Must be like in a folder, or it must have that in it somewhere. The other thing is multiples. I've yelled at Bertha about this. We talked about this. I'm gonna call her out because she likes to keep old versions of things. I'm like, why? You have an updated version. Get rid of the old one. So if you have different files that do the same thing, you really don't need multiples of them. Get rid of them. And I know we're gonna do a half an hour, so I'm gonna jump ahead, but that's really quick ways, types of files you can just delete right now. I am all about that old saying, a place for everything and everything in its place. You can delete files all summer long, but come August or September, when you start getting bombarded with them again, you're gonna get cluttered unless you have a place for them. I have folders upon folders upon folders. This is the one place in my life where more is better. The more specific, the better. I have some files that go like 5 or 6 layers deep. And how you organize them, this sounds like weird to say it's a very personal choice, but it is. You've got to find what works for you.
And I want to say that this is one thing that Lisa really helped me out with, because I started working on my email. Mm-hmm. When I discovered that Lisa was like pretty amazing at organizing things, I said, you got to help me organize my email, because guys, I had emails in my personal email and in my school email that date back to like 2016 longer. Okay. So what I had to do, I sat with Lisa, and she just kind of like walked me through how to organize it, and I was able to delete thousands of emails back all the way to 2018.
And I have to say, Bertha said, she said, oh, I didn't get as far as I wanted to. I only got to 2018. I'm like, 2018, you deleted 2 years of email today. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it took me, I'm not gonna lie, it took me about an hour and a half to do that. But the system that she created for me, well, what she's telling you guys to organize it by folders, I have all of those folders in my email now that say things like upcoming flights, or, well, right now I'm not flying, but I used to do that in past years, or upcoming webinars, past webinars, receipts, personal receipts, all kinds of folders I created for my email. And now when I open my email, it's like delete, delete, delete. Okay, put it in the upcoming webinar because it's happening next week. And now I know where to find my stuff. So that really has been a game changer for me. So thank you, Lisa.
I just shout out to Jen. In the comments, she said, I create a folder that is labeled file later. Yes, I have one labeled stuff to sort, because sometimes you see something on Twitter in between classes, or you download it real quick and you really don't have the time to like deal with it then. So you put it somewhere where you know where it is, and then you schedule the time to go back and actually do something with it. You can't just put it there and forget about it, because then you're never going to use it and it's not going to add value. But you've got to schedule the time to do this. And I know that sounds so trivial, but really what gets scheduled gets done. And it doesn't have to be a 2-hour marathon. If you have 10 minutes on a Saturday morning while you're sipping your coffee and your idea of a good time is cleaning out your files, that's me, then go ahead and do that. Take 10 minutes and clean things out. And that's, really all that it needs to be. It can just be constant maintenance. If you feel overwhelmed, know that you do not have to tackle it all in a day. You can do it in 10 or 15
minutes. I still have to tackle 2018 to 2016. Mm-hmm. So.
But you'll get there.
Yeah. The thing is, I have a system now.
Yeah. And once you get that little bit of momentum going, you kind of get that endorphin rush, and you're like, oh, you feel so good that it motivates you to keep going and to tackle the bigger projects. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, start somewhere small. So like if I go to my drive, like I know access items, access is like a special little thing we have with our middle schoolers. I don't have much in here. There's 4 files. 4 files is not a lot of decisions. I have to make 4 decisions. That's it. And that's not overwhelming. So start small. Pick a folder, or say, I'm going to deal with 10 files today, and that's all I'm doing. And that's okay. Like, that's progress. Progress is progress is progress. So there you go. We're only 4 minutes over, and there's where to find me online. And if you want to stick around for Q&A, I will stay here like all day.
Let's see. Do we have any questions? Well, Luisa said all of those emails, even the deleted ones, take up space in the Google Drive. And that's true. And that's why it is so important to go through them and delete them. Mm-hmm. And then Haven said, does it not free up when you empty trash on the Google Drive? It that's why it's so important to do that delete. so that you can then empty the trash.
So you actually have to go to your trash and you actually have to empty out your trash because your trash counts towards your storage limit.
Let's see what else do we have in here. Oh, if we have any more questions for Lisa before we log off, let us know and we'll be happy to answer them. I also want to recommend, if you want to know more and you want to have a support system for decluttering your files and how to name your files, and I mean, Lisa goes through a whole bunch of things, your mindset, so that you can start developing habits to stay decluttered as far as your digital files go. She has a course, and I'm going to be putting the link in on the comments, and I'm also going to be putting another link in the comments for those people. If you ever are moving to another system and you have a Google Drive and you're like, oh my God, I'm moving, how am I going to transfer those thousands of files? There's a way to do that. So I'm going to be putting that link in there as well.
Yeah.
We hope that, this has been useful for you guys tonight. Remember, it is so important to keep our files organized. And I know the reason why I haven't finished organizing mine just yet is because I'm still writing. My stuff is due on Friday. So
you're awesome and doing your national board certification, which is amazing.
I'm just like, oh my God, I want it to be over so that I can focus on organizing my files online, because
who knows what is coming in August. I have just accepted the fact that I will be doing remote teaching again in some way, shape, or form. And so just the more organized I can be, the better I can feel about that. And, if you want to take a really deep dive into decluttering, or if you've tried before and it just never works out, you need that extra support. Like Bertha said, I have actually a whole course. And she talked about how I talk about naming files. This is how much of a geek I am about this. I have there's 20 minutes in the course that is solely dedicated to how you name your files, because I have a system of how I name my files. But if you do want to take a deep dive, reach out, let me know. I'd be happy to tell you more.
We have one question, Lisa, that just came in, and it says, how do I empty my trash in my email?
If it's Gmail? I can't even think how you do it. I just do it. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see here. You know what? We will, sure, why not? Oh no, you're gonna make me two-step. No, you're not. Okay. Because I have two-step authentication. I don't know, you just go to trash
and then select
and delete forever. There you go.
And then they're gone, and they're no longer at this point. And they're no longer taking up any of your space.
Yep. Yeah, so I just go bloop, you just click and hit delete all, and then they're gone forever. If you're in Google Drive, you have My Drive, you just click on the trash can down here and click empty trash. And warning, you cannot undo this action. Are you sure? Yeah. If space is an issue for you, if you go to settings, it'll take you right here, it'll say storage. And then you can it'll say view items taking up storage. So when I click that, it then sorts them by storage used. And usually all your videos are the big things. So you can go through and be like, oh, I do not need, I really don't need this Jose Fernandez video anymore. So you can, pick the videos that you don't need and remove them. Now it's still counting towards your space until you come to trash and empty your trash. Then it will not count towards your storage.
Yeah, it sounds like very simple and something like, oh my God, but honestly, I don't know, but unless we empty the trash, then it's not counting space. So once we empty the trash, then it can clear the space that we need.
Yep. So yeah, and that is one reason why some people have so many drives, because they've run out of storage space on Google Drive. So they had to start using this other email for more storage. So there you go.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for your time tonight. I will be putting your information on the in the comments. I'll be putting your information in there. And then, guys, I want to remind you that tomorrow, Lisa, Lisa and our friend Super Senora Cristina and Claudia Elliott will be hosting an informal chat via Zoom tomorrow. If you want to sign up for that, there is already an announcement in my group, Transformation Through Acquisition Driven Instruction. And tomorrow it's going to be informal. We're just going to chat, celebrate successes, talk about challenges, and just really kind of come together and build each other up for what's to come. So I hope.
Who knows what that's going to be like.
Yes. So grab your favorite tea, coffee, drink, whatever it is, that you want to grab and join us. But for that, you do have to register. So please find the announcement in the page, in the Facebook group.
That's tomorrow at 8 Eastern?
It's at 8 Eastern.
Okay. I'm the only Central Time Zone person that's coming, so I have 7.
So it is
Central Time if you're in the middle with me.
And next Wednesday, I'm going to be coming back over here to do a Facebook Live with my friend Claudia Elliott. We're going to be talking about output. So, yes.
I'll be watching that one.
So please tune in next week. I'm going to be bringing you a lot of topics. Sometimes I'm going to have a guest like today, with Lisa. And then some days it's just going to be me. So I hope to see you here. And I hope this was helpful to you. And if you have any questions that you think about later on, or you watching the replay and you think of any more questions, you can type it in the comment and tag Lisa in it because she's part of the group, and I'm sure she'll be more than happy to answer.
I will geek out all day about this because I just love it, and I'm just a builder. I love it.
She is the queen of teacher organization. I can attest to that. So.
Thanks, Bertha.
All right, guys. We're checking out now. Take
Bye.
care.
Have a great night.
Bye.